Series Committee and our technology and university partners, I warmly welcome you all to today's Global Insights Wisdom Beyond Barriers Talk series. So let's begin with land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the land we are on which we gather here today is the traditional territory of many nations, including Mississaugas of Credit, Anishinaabe, Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 within Mississaugas of Credit. We recognize that we are all treaty people. Many of us are here as settlers, immigrants, and newcomers, either in this generation or generations past. We also pause to acknowledge and honor those who came here involuntarily, particularly those descended from people brought through enslavements. And now it is time to welcome our lovely audience. It's truly heartening to see such a diverse and global audience, professionals, students, leaders, and lifelong learners coming together with the shared purpose to reflect on higher education and its deeper meaning. In today's fast challenging world, your presence today reinforces our belief that education is not merely about credentials, it is about character and contribution. We would like to place our record of sincere appreciation to our technology partners as well as university partners, especially IMT Studies London, for being proactive and integral part of, of organizing this event. Their responsiveness and behind the scene coordination have played a significant role in ensuring the smooth execution of today's Global Talk series. We are also extend our heartfelt thanks to Chandigarh University, our esteemed university partner, for their continued support and collaboration. IEEE Prakash Bharati, IEEE Bangalore section, their unwavering support is reflected on the successful launch of today's inaugural session of Global Talk series. This program would not be reached this level of excellence without the quiet leadership and commitment sport behind the scenes. I would like to specially welcome and acknowledge Professor Dr. Brinderjit Singh, representing IEEE Prakash Bharati, IEEE Chandigarh subsection, and Chandigarh University faculty, whose coordination and tireless efforts played a crucial role in making today's session a successful. Thank you, Professor Brinderjit, for being invisible force that turned vision into reality. Now, moving forward towards photography and IEEE public policy note, we are also taking screenshots and group photographs during the session to capture the glimpses of this event of Global Talk series. In this line, the IEEE photography and public communication policy participants who don't wish their images to be published are requested to keep their cameras switched off during the session. Your comfort and consent are our priority. But we encourage other participants to keep their camera switch on mode so that we can make this event an attractive event. This Global Talk series is a signature initiative of IEEE Education Activity Board, that is a part of Educational Service Committee, designed to foster meaningful global dialogue and collective wisdom beyond barriers. Once again, I warmly welcome you all and invite you to enrich this session with your global presence, engagement, and reflection, making this event truly impactful and memorable. Before we move ahead, a quick housekeeping note for our participants. A certificate form will be shared towards the end of session, so kindly complete that form. Yay! Now it's time to welcome our today's esteemed speaker, and it's my distinct honor to introduce a leader who truly embodies this spirit of future belongs to those who create it with courage, compassion, and conviction. Dr. Rajeshri Narendran is a PhD, MBA, and PhD in Management and MBA, and Andrew Troll Scholar from Harvard Business School, and a visionary academic leader. She holds a rare distinction of being the first and youngest woman as National President of Indian Society for Training and Development, and the first woman elected to the professional HR and management body across Asia. Currently, she serves as Director, NTPC School of Business, India, mentored by IIM Ahmedabad, a renowned professor, policy contributor, board member, and psychodynamic analyst. She has shaped leadership pipelines across premier public and private institutions in India and globally. With 173 publications, 5 patents, and many copyrights, global advisory roles, and various national and international awards, Dr. Rajeshri's work span education reforms, women leadership, behavioral science, and national building. A coach, a motivator, a mentor, she has inspired over 1 lakh learners across the world and contributes to the society's indeed need for the education and continues to light the path for future leaders. With so many firsts in her title to her name, today she adds yet another one, the first esteemed speaker for our global talk series of IEEE Canada region. Welcome you, Dr. Rajeshri. We are deeply honored to have you with us and look forward to your insights on higher education, higher purpose. Are we losing it? To our audience, thank you for part of this meaningful dialogue and let's listen, reflect, reimagine the education with renowned purpose. Once again, welcome you everyone and over to you, Dr. Rajeshri now. Thank you.
Good morning and good evening, because we are talking from across the globe. So namaste from India. This is Rajeshwari. And how can I start, without mentioning that this is such a wonderful initiative which IEEE Canada has taken up, and India is, supporting through Chandigarh University, Bangalore IEEE chapter, and whatnot. You have brought so many wonderful people together, because what I believe in this century, that this century belongs to the quickest learners. This century belongs to those who are ready to learn from anywhere and everywhere, so that they can create an impact for themselves and for the world. Here, I would like to, be, giving some small insights. This session would have certain polls. I would request that people should start whenever we are doing the poll. Please do poll. Please do put your poll there, because then there we evolve. When we take the poll, we evolve more. So it would be a continuous learning process during this talk also, because I don't want to talk only as a talk. Those who can switch on their cameras, I really want you to first rub your palms rigorously like this, because this would keep, and as fast now as you can. Please do it faster. And then put again on your face. on the chin and the, forehead. Make yourself ready for learning. It is so good sometimes to just recharge yourself. And I belong to an energy management school, and I feel that it is better to start with the energizer. So, Dr. Inder, can I ask you to start the poll? Because, before we even go to the PPT or anything else, I believe that can we just take a quick poll that are the people ready for this poll? Let us see.
Before the start, I welcome Professor Naresh Chandji from US, the backbone of IEEE Prakash Bharti.
Wow.
Welcome you, sir. And I also welcome Professor Vinita from IEEE Rajasthan chapter. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Professor Shiva, and you are a motivation for this talk. So I be ready. We will ask few questions, few feedbacks from you. Thank you for joining us. And I'm starting with the poll. Thank you.
People just do poll because this is an important thing. I see some smiling face already, which is a very good motivation to me. Hi, Rachit. I see Preeti. I see Naresh ji. Lots of happy faces around. And madam, if you can start the poll, this poll is very important. New poll is live. Just click that. And, this is a very interesting poll. Our education values are deteriorating across the geographies. Do you feel that there is any kind of such thought in educators and students and parents as a social being, as an individual person? Do you feel that there is a small or large? I'm not talking about how much, but do we feel that there is any value system is deteriorating in our education?
There is a poll. I don't see that poll. Where is it?
Sir, you will get the notification on the top of your screen. Poll,
Oh,
live
thank you.
poll is live. You can see that, or you can just say, sir, I will see that if you know is education value deteriorating according to you, sir?
A poll. Okay, I guess I can see a poll. New poll has been lost. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, great. So we still see that 8 votes are yes and 4 votes are no as of now, or 9 votes are for yes, 5
Okay,
votes are for no, 6. Okay, wow, interesting. People have started pouring in. I'm very happy. 11 to 5. Great. Superb. 11 to 7. Wow. This is a good engagement. I love this. So, I feel that it is important for all of us to know that in general, everywhere there is people are feeling that these are issues. I'm just, because this is based on my own research in education, that what is happening. Let us see the result of the this kind of a activity that we have seen. And here now it is 17 to 7 votes. 17 people think that yeah, deterioration is there. So very recently I have concluded a paper which had 4 major continents and the students, teacher and parents. There we found out that there are emotional issues in general. People having more aggression, they have more intolerance, people have got more higher expectation, and they are finding work life balance becoming a little topsy turvy. It is going imbalanced. This was number one finding. Number two was that gadget dependence has increased so much high in last 7 years that somewhere people sitting in the same room would be using different mobiles and doing tuck 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 or maybe something else, and will not be speaking. This was predicted way back by Albert Einstein, that there would be a time where people would be disconnected while sitting together. So look at the kind of visionary persons they were there. Third result of my paper was that disconnect with people, parents, and soil. Soil does mean you where you belong to, your own land, your own, the soil where you're living. Have you ever gone, walked into the garden? Did you do something by your hand, touching the soil? It is not by feet, touching the soil. Has it gone? So what has happened? Touch screen has taken more place than touching heart. This has happened. So this is a paper talking. And that many people have started missing the purpose of life. What am I supposed to do? Everywhere there is a confusion. Child is confused, parents are confused, teachers are confused, policymakers are confused, what to do, how to do, whether Australia or New Zealand puts a filter on the internet usage to the children, or somewhere some geopolitical issues are coming. Everywhere there is a confusion that is it good, bad, boon or a bane. So this is going on. So purpose is missing somewhere, disconnect is there, and of course careers are becoming more and more critical and complex. There is a plenty of careers available. Still, every time you look at the employment stature of any country in this world, you will find that there is dearth of talent which can be accommodated in this plethora of types of careers that are available. But still there would be lack of talent or drainage of the talent. So this was my paper having in totality, which says that why higher education is unable to, give what the society, the country, the globe wants from it. Professor Brijender, would I request you to please show the first slide, because here what we are taking on is from the paper, from the poll. The poll is very interesting now. 24 votes say that yes, there is a deterioration across the geography, whereas 7 say no. I would really love to see that there is no deterioration across the geographies, or is it, some people are still feeling, no, we are carrying the value. I love those people who say that I am there to carry the value. Okay. But
We
here,
have some question, sorry, from Dr. Shiva.
yeah, please. Dr. Siva, if you have any question, please unmute and ask. Dr. Inder, I would request if you can end the poll as of now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that, look at this. What has happened to education? The paper which I was talking, we are, whether the education is serving the transactional purpose. Transaction is give, and take. It is like a business. It is like a trade. There is a trade-off. I pay you the fee, you give me the admission. You teach, I will pass, or I will get the degree. When I get the degree, there is an expectation. There would be a 7-figure salary. I would have an X lifestyle. I will have a Y lifestyle. People dream, aspire, and everything is connected to what you are learning. And everything is connected to the career. I would like to tell you, no, I think the first slide itself was education needs to be transformative. It should bring a change in person. And what should be the change in the person? Is it here or is it here? There are 3 H, I say, head, heart, and hands. Is it bringing that change? Is it bringing that transformation that we are ready to have the utilization of my brain? I am sensitive about myself, my country, my fellow participants, my colleagues, even a general public. Am I concerned? Am I empathizing? Am I compassionate? And do I have belief in action by my hand? Do it myself. Am I ready for that? Rona was big teacher, So, but still people bounce back to their old habits. So let us go that what is beyond the careers. So next slide would be telling you that what is beyond the career, what we are looking at the higher education. See, the purpose or the pillars or foundation on which the higher education was created, it was to develop an analytical and critical thinking in the head, that any person should know right, wrong. There is a righteousness for everything. You, whatever you do, can you critically analyze? Can you critically see? Can you know that if this is the action, this is the going to be the consequence? Are you instigating that kind of a critical thinking in a person? Should I bunk the class or no? You know, many students these days, the hardest time for the teachers is to get the attention. Students will come to the class, they may be sitting there still on the gadgets, not attending the class or their dynamics. This has happened with me or anybody else, this can be witnessed. But a right educator can give you the development of critical thinking, can engage you and lead you to the path of critical thinking. Of course, there has to be a socio-cultural exposure to every individual, because that is where the heart belongs to. We all are social beings, and we need to have camaraderie, friendship, affiliation, self-esteem, our recognition. We need the smile on our faces. But are we fostering such education which brings the smile to the faces and the comrades and everybody, those who are there as your friends, family, or general, everybody who is around you? Driving innovation. Again, it is so important that can you lead thinking something new? There is an interesting, research. I was engaged in year 2000, Professor Inder. It would be very interesting to know that in year 2000, 4 lakh people across the geographies of the world, we conducted the, only 2 questions. Do you think that ancient people had used more IQ than the current generations that we have? And are we innovating or building on the old wisdom, some new inventions and new innovations coming up? The poll results or the such kind of dipstick study having 4 lakh people across the globe brought very interesting thing, that almost 62% people felt that old people, what they created, now our science technology is building on that. Nothing new has been created by themselves. It has been whatever old, but the last century, till the last century, whatever people have done, like up to 20th century, that on that only we are rebuilding certain newer thoughts and nuances out of it. Now look at that. So driving innovation, education has to give you that thought. And are we fostering global citizenship? Because I am what I am. I will be what I am. The egocentric personalities. I know whatever it is. So what is happening? Are we losing on to becoming a global citizen who is respecting the dignity of everybody around? Yeah. Or who is ready to give that kind of love, affection, compassion, friendship, accessibility to the resources, or sharing, caring, all those things. Are we able to do it? If not, then our education has to be looked at. The educators have to look at themselves. Are they even ready to see the changes? Right? Similarly, there are 4 C's that has to cultivate the wisdom. Curiosity. Are you ready to be curious to know what is happening? How can I do this thing? Am I ready to adopt the AI? Or what is new? And what is going to be there? Not new on Netflix. Sorry, dears. But curiosity to know, to collect the knowledge here. Creativity. Do you have this, fiber in you where your creative skills are very high? Do you have a critical thinking? And do you have a character? It is such an important thing to have a character of your own. The finesse in your character is where your even global citizenship behavior comes. And of course, are you ready to take a personal growth, self discovery, and navigate the complexities around the world, not only within you, but outside you. This is very, very important. So I would here request Professor Inderpreet Kaur, if I can have the second poll. Let us see what is the second poll. What is the interesting second poll we have? It is, very interestingly that what higher education today is seen as career, personality and human development, or gateway to secure a lifestyle. Shanmugam sir, I see you there. Happily, happily eating something. I see that spirit in you. Very good, very interesting. And Preeti, in deep thought, what is coming up as next in my poll? Yeah. So it is, just think through it. What is higher education seen today as? Is it a gateway to the secure lifestyle? That I will anyway, if I do engineering, if I do medical, if I do life sciences, if I do technological innovation, if I do, arts, if I do a commerce, if I do a management, if I do an entrepreneurship development, would I have a secure career? Is that the choice people have? Or do they have a career orientation? ठीक है, personality हो गया, human development हो गया. Anybody who would like to even openly answer, even if the poll is not coming in that case, Preeti, would you like to unmute and tell what students see as, education as?
Good evening, ma'am. Uh, like in today's world, I think people are more and more concerned about, for like how to start career, what will be my position, what salary I'll get. That thing is there in their mind instead of learning or, instead of going to academics, they just want to earn money. This
Very
is the thing which people are wanting these days.
Okay, so let me ask, I see one Mr. Anup Kumar, and if he can reflect on this. What do parents, teachers, or students see higher education as? Is it a gateway to a lifestyle, a career opener, or is it something else? Anup ji. Okay, I don't see the response. Shanmugam sir, would you like to speak on this? No, very good. Okay, I'm happy with that. No,
I
Naresh,
would like
you
to,
want to speak? I'm happy to see you.
I would like to share some of my thoughts about
Yep.
it. So when I was a student, at the time, we did not know anything other than going to school.
Hmm.
There was nothing better. There was no option. We did not know what we want to become. We just study that. And back in my village, the boys would study so that they can get a good wife, and girls would study they can get a good husband. At that time, because we as would join the family business. If somebody is a carpenter, would do the carpentry. Somebody do. At that time, the goal was different. So today, people are well to do. At our time, the education, it was a service. Teacher used to take a big pride, right? We had a lot of respect for the teacher, right? That respect is gone, from both sides.
Wow.
Teacher to them is a business, right? Back
Okay.
then, the best of best used to go in academia. The topper of the school will become a professor. Now, the people at the bottom, they go in academia. So there are more options for them, right? They can get in IT business, they can do a lot of things, right? The thing is that one thing I feel that there is a disconnect. Our culture, our old Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, they are Q&A, question and answer. A dialogue between Shishya and Acharya. That culture is missing totally. We are disgraced to ask questions. We don't ask questions. So wherever I go ask these teachers, they say they are talking to the wall. There's no feedback from, like, you are giving this lecture and you are seeking feedback. That culture doesn't exist today. When I see the kids today, even, I have 7 grandkids, but when I see even my 2 years old, she knows a lot. She knows more than, what I knew when I was 12, 14. She knows what she wants to eat.
Yeah. So
Smart,
Preeti is answering because they are Gen Z. Yes, of course. No, they are not Gen Z, Preeti. You are behind. It is Gen Alpha now. They
Well,
are
as
not,
I
no,
know,
no, no. Gen Z has gone, like, it is Gen Alpha. So Alpha is because he's talking about the small grandchild of 2 year. So definitely, there is a huge shift that has happened, and commercialization of education has happened.
absolutely.
Why teachers are not getting that respect, the nobility of the profession of being a teacher. I would say that when nobody is getting any job anywhere, they want to become the teacher.
Teacher,
Lalit bang on, pointed on that people used to be the brightest of them would be the teacher. Now brightest of the class would be saying, teacher, no, 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 I don't want to be. So why? There is no lucrative incentivization to any teacher. People like me who left an armed force job, who left the job with LIC or bank or administrative services and said, no, I want to be the teacher so that I can touch many lives. This decision of mine was way back 36 years down the line. I'm talking like 36 years ago. This decision, I was able to say, I want to be the teacher only, because then I can impact many more lives. And that courage to take a decision for yourself, because I felt that education is where the value system is, where you can really touch so many lives. So that kind of a passionate teachers are also missing, sir. They were, class size used to be 40. I will have 120 students sitting on the floor. They would sit on the grills of the windows, but they would attend my class. No, no, ma'am, we want to attend your class. Here teachers are telling, no student comes to my class, I am happy, the student is happy, I'll give the attendance, they will give the exam, they will pass, bye bye, tata, my purpose is done. So what has happened? The value system has really gone down, and I really reckon with the poll that we have done. So Brijinder ji, let us go to the third slide, where we are also talking about what and how and things can be done. Now, what
Rajeshwari, I would like to add one more point here. Back then, when we were kids, we had to do a lot of domestic work. We had to help mother cooking, we had to do the cleaning, we had to go shopping, we had to do a lot of things. Now, I find that in well-to-do family that is missing. You have domestic help, you have servant, somebody, you have, when I go to India, for example, I see people have 2, 3 servants in the house for different tasks, right? So in old days, we had some skill, built-in skill. So what is happening now, the experimental skills in education is going down, because they didn't get it. I feel that when I talk to the people, I said, oh, first learn how to cook, because that will, your life will be, very, very happy. People say, happy birthday, happy. I said, happy will only come if you can do good cooking, and then you would be happy. So today, kids are not getting their hands on. They are not doing things, right? So they
Sir,
don't
do you
do.
remember I said that when I was talking about the research findings that can disconnect with the soil, doing yourself, that was the point, that by your hand, I still cook, I do all the cleaning, I put my sari falls, I do wash my clothes, I do iron my clothes, because I think that if you are working with your hand, your neurons also in the brain get impacted and your activity slots become higher. Rather than sitting at a place, it develops your brain faculty also by using hand, by using so many things. Now I have developed so much of skill, I would like to boast here, that by smelling the food, I can say that the salt is less. By smelling the food, I can say if it is less sweet or very high sweet. Because your brain starts using the faculty when you are doing the things with your hands, with your brain, with using all the 5 sensory organs, eye, your nose, your tongue to taste, you listen what is happening, and you are touching. All those faculties need to be developed. And here, a very interesting framework the Vivekananda Swami Vivekananda gave, that physical, social, cultural and ethical background should be there in any of the education. However, later we have added certain more dimension. Education which prepares a child for physical development where there are activities. I have not taken classes many a times in my classroom. I've taken them out, taken them to the garden. I said, let us sit today on the outside. We will not, be in the classroom. I have taken to them to the terrace. I have taken them to the canteen. I have taken the students to, you will wonder that in my master's in commerce students, they were supposed to do projects and everybody was looking at high industries, that I'll go to X category of corporate, I'll go to the B category of the corporate. And I said, no, you will go to the street vendors, spend 7 days with them morning till evening, and see that from where are they bringing, sourcing their item, at what price, or credit or cash, how are they trying to sell it off, and see that what are the strategies they are doing it. By end of the day, how do they close their accounts? And by 7 days, the kids used to know that what kind of a difficulty a small vendor is having. Then I will say, now apply your brain of being a management student, apply your marketing skill, apply your financial skill, sit another 7 days teaching the guy that don't take credit from here, use the cash from this for this purpose. If you are taking any kind of stock, see what kind of data has come, what stock is in demand, and put that demand supply analysis, put the cost volume benefit ratio analysis into the practice, and then let us see if the vendors have developed a better skills. I would like to tell this experimentation after 45 days of such interactions, we called all the street vendors to come to the college and share their experiences. I was surprised that they said rupees 5,000 per week their income increased because of this added knowledge which the student has given, and student become entrepreneurial. Now look at that unless you go physically there, you are not connecting with them socially, you're not looking at financial aspect, you're not looking at their mental challenges, you cannot develop a child to become a commerce graduate. And what is happening? I would give here another anecdote. There was something happened in our institute. There was a student, I called him. I said, are you an engineer? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, okay, which kind of engineer you are? He said, madam, I have done electrical engineering. I said, okay, then go and check this circuit and fix the plug there. And he was looking at me, no, ma'am, that is not my role. No, ma'am, I cannot do it. Now look at the child, electrical engineer. If he cannot fix a plug with a circuit, what kind of education have we given to him or her? So it is not to pass the exam is all my focus. I strongly believe that physical faculties, activity-based learning, and your health is very important. Your social interaction skills have to be inclusive in the education. You have to be financially literate right from the childhood, saving money, investing money, making some kind of adventurous thought process in your mind, entrepreneurial thought in your process. And if you cannot earn, how you can save money, because saving money and investing money is also a financial literacy. Or somebody should not loot you, at least you should know what is an hisab kitab and accounting, that you should know. That is an important part of education that people are now missing. Similarly, cultural assimilations. We are having global citizenship everywhere. Are we ready to work on it? Do we have the mental faculties where my thoughts are provoked to act on? And I am not asking AI, give me the answer. AI, give me the map, Google map, give me the Google map where I can reach. Once you have gone, try to remember on that path. Why do you need to be so much gadget dependent that automated systems are working and you feel that, yes, I am being, so you do not know that those neurons of memory start falling deterioration in your mind, and you become so gadget dependent that you won't remember to take a medicine on time. You will miss out meeting because Google or Siri was not working. It is so important to understand that education has to make people less dependent on many things, so that mental faculty, your ability to think, remember, act, and produce results and be productive is so important to have that faculty here. Similarly, you should be technologically advanced but not over dependent on something. I am not against the technology, I'm not against the AI. Even I may use AI, but I will not be over dependent on it, because today's world is so fast paced change. You have to be updated with the technology. The other day I was talking to somebody who is writing a book, and he's collecting some items from 10, 15 old documents, and I said, why can't you use a scanner, see that what is coming as a theme, and use that? And why you have to spend 7 months of effort? This can be done if in 7 hours. We can do like that. So adoption of technology but not becoming slave of it, both are very important. Similarly, without thinking twice, sometimes you are missing on legal aspects. Is it right? Is it compliance oriented? I was so happy when Dr. Inderpreet was reading the beginning of the program, that what it means to be an authentic professional body, announcing that what you are requested to comply for. It is such a wonderful thought that legal compliance is our duty. It's our duty and its responsibility and answerability. It is not that koi nahi dekh raha hai, so I can do anything. No, dear. You can do anything and everything which is legally and ethically right. Righteousness has to come through teaching learning process, and of course a spiritual development. Spiritual is not religious. Spiritual is knowing thyself better. Conquering your own weaknesses and coming out of it is very important. And just being feeling a part of that large cosmos that is around us, that large energy that is there in our galaxy, and feeling responsible towards it is what is more spiritual to me. And of course, this education, I would say, like today's mothers, I was even morning, I was counseling somebody. She said, Madam, how do you find so much of time for everything? And I said, my guru has taught me those who are busy can take out time for everything. Those who do not have work, their mind will go haywire and they will not find time. No time, no time. Everybody would say, time nahi hai. How you are telling time nahi hai? Time is given. This is the only commodity in the entire world where 24 hours are equally distributed to black, white, brown, green people, or it is, blue people, or whatever color of skin you have, or height you have, or whatever language you speak, whichever territory you are. 24 hours are the day given equally to everybody. Then how somebody is more successful, more fruitful than XYZ? Because you are not able to understand the value of the time. So this has to be instilled right from the childhood. Why the mother is pampering the child so much? Okay, my child doesn't know cooking, because you take pride that the boy had been studying so much that he even doesn't know how to make a tea. And I would say, what a dumb fellow you have produced. Because if you do not know to take care of yourself, your basic need is roti, kapda, makan, or, food and shelter. If you do not know even that living being, if you are not able to, why you need to be dependent? When animal babies are born, within their birth, few minutes, they become, dependent. And later, they develop the skill on their own within months. The human babies are still 45-year-old, bring water, you will say, you will order. Please do this thing for me, please do that thing for me. Why the hell, why you cannot use your own hands? Why you need to be dependent on anybody? So education has to put all this thought, and the parents have to also work on it. So let us have in the a small poll that we were discussing. If you can really initiate, I would be very happy that the fourth poll, that are students ready to handle real life challenges in early school days? Yeah, so I am able to see that new poll has been launched. Let me see what is this. Two polls. Uh, okay, this one is live. What is the disruption in education? Okay, but I'm seeking now the fourth poll, poll 4. If you can just scroll down. Are student ready to handle real life challenges in early school days? Anybody? Nine is to 3 is to 2. How many of our kids, our sisters, our brothers, own known people are able to handle their own real life challenges? Real life challenge. Now, see, I was looking at one of the mathematics project. An eighth class boys mathematics project was being a nightmare for the parents because they were running around to the market to find, who can take care of this project. So the child, even if the school is bringing a mathematics project or a science project, somebody else is making, and the child is getting the marks. This is the time we are living in, and which is very, very, disheartening, that unless a child soils his or her own hands to create that project, it is not going to help, Baba. We are not understand, and the parents are also being responsible to see that no, dear, you have to do it. It is your work. I don't know, like I have seen my friends at US, Canada or France or even Ireland. They would say the child is supposed to do the project at the school, and that's why we have this do it yourself activity at the school. But here we pamper the child so much that the parents would do something, teacher would guide, okay, you don't know, I will do. The teacher would be editing the research projects, spelling corrects and everything. Why? Why don't you tell the child to do it themselves? But you know that they would eat your time 10 times. And that's why you feel that you will do it, finish it. So look at that. Where are we heading to? Are we not responsible? Vijayendra, can we go to the next slide? Because that is where I think we are going to discuss certain very, very important things. Here,
So, Rajeshwari, I would like to add one point here. See, we have to make, the responsible. Children has to be made responsible.
yes,
So
yes.
I had 3 kids. So when they were growing up, I gave them a budget. This is your school budget. You decide you want to go to state school, you want to go to MIT, you want to go to Harvard, you want to wherever you want to go. This is your budget. And whatever difference you have to get, you have to earn it through internship, through this, through that. So when you give this, then they have to think about, you have to financial management, how to save the money, how to do this. So you have to, make them, think over it. And so my all 3 kids, they were short of the money because they went to Ivy schools, and then they had to borrow money from me, and they had to return the money. So I told them, whatever I have is yours, but this is, so we have to make them responsible, not that just, oh, you have everything free, take anything. Now, what is happening in India today? The parents, they spend tons of money on the marriage of their children, and many times today, the marriage doesn't last even 1 year, because what is happening, they spend all their resources, effort on the marriage, on the wedding, and zero on the marriage. You know, zero on the marriage, everything on the wedding. So there are a lot of disconnect today, and society is suffering. I see a lot of those kind of cases that we don't want to make our children responsible. We don't want.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And sir, I will say that, chalta hai attitude. Because I see most of us are here today, Indians, let me say, oh, it's okay to be like, like that. I would say it's not okay. Chalta hai, nahi chalega.
वो जब जिम्मेदारी आएगी तो वो समझ जाएंगे तो कुछ
Yeah.
बोलेंगे that kind
No,
of thing.
no, चलता है कि एटीट्यूड, अरे यहाँ पे फेंक दिया कोई बात नहीं चलेगा. No, my dear, there is a dustbin. Pick it up, do it. I would say I know my child would be, cursing me for that. There was an apple and the child, the taken only 1 or 2 bites, and rest of the apple was lying on the dustbin. I asked the child to pick it up, wash it, make it clean, and at least feed. If you are not eating, feeding to the cow, but make it clean first. You cannot do something like that. And remember that this is coming for a value. There is a cost for it. So remember, before you throwing food, there are hundreds and thousands of children who are hungry, waiting to get some kind of food. And you are doing this thing. So my child today, I would say, I love my child for this. During Corona, he made every day 4 kilos of rice mixed with 4 kilos of yogurt. He used to go take his car out at 1 o'clock in the night, and he used to feed all the dogs, entire his colony and beyond, wherever he could have gone. And the government of Gujarat called me that this boy is going out in the Corona, but we are supporting because he is out for a noble cause. No, though he had very meager income at that time, but I know that making them responsible, sensible, sensitive, having that pulse of compassion in them is so much important. Because if you have not done, you have failed grossly in your duty as a parent.
See what happened that
Now next, please.
Rajeshwari, just want to tell you a little story. I come from a village. I used to spend 2-3 hours on my buffalo. We had a buffalo. It was a status symbol to have a buffalo, right? Uska ghas katna, feeding the water, also 6-7 bucket of water. So much work, right? And to get what? Maybe a few liters of milk. So I tell my kids that this is the, rituals or the, routine we had to get this kind of milk. So you have milk at home, you don't want to even drink it. It's so important. Even a glass of milk, how much work is involved there to get a glass of milk. So if the children do not know the value of the labor, what goes in there. So they can't be responsible. They can't understand the value of values.
Exactly. So higher education comes with higher purpose. That is where, at the childhood itself, we need to nurture, the role of parents start from the day the child is conceived. Not born. I am telling the day the child is conceived, from that day, your responsibility as a parent starts. That you are bringing a life on this earth, and what and how you're going to care. It is not to provide them everything they demand and command and put tantrums and pester you. No, let them earn what you give to them. Show them the dignity of labor, involve them in the household work, let them put their shoes onto the rack, let them put their socks into the washing machine and wash the things which they can. Let them put their plates back onto the wash basins and say that at least wash and do this thing. We have not, "Arey beta, you might be tired, let me do this thing, for my child is tired." Mothers are spoiling the children. The parents are, no, my child is studying, don't disturb. A child is not 24/7 studying. Let the child learn the value of time. That 5 minutes for this, 10 minutes for this, 15 minutes for this, 1 hour for study, and I need 5 more minutes to relax. Make my own tea, make my own juice. Mother will be putting the juicer on and will be feeding. Why? Because then they become dependent and you are not allowing your child to grow. You are growth mute. So this is very important. And what Naresh is talking is all practical. We all have done this. I know there is a lot of pressure, lot of types of education coming in with new education policy, this, that thing, and so many, parameters to be successful, because we have always given more weightage to success. Here I say, celebrate the failure too. Be the parent where a child has at least tried, and encourage the child. Do not label failure as bad. Say that this is another opportunity to learn, another opportunity to improve. Failure is not something to be ashamed of. Failure is something to learn from. And we have been always relating labels, labels on people. If XYZ has secured first position, is the best. Whereas, ask me, there is one paper which was published in IMA Vikalp, which was telling that, people at the brightest schools, the people are hiring, they leave the company pretty soon, but those mediocres are ready to learn. They are more adaptable, they are more humble. Whereas somebody who comes gold medal from so and so Ivy League, or so and so from big IIM or IIT, they would show all the tantrums that, hello, I am somebody. And then they cannot sustain on the jobs because they have not grown as a human. They have been thinking, I'm a superhuman, which you are not. That's why I hate those labels which tells X is the best and Y is the worst. No, nobody is worst. In this beautiful, there is a Vedant, Vedic shloka which says, a mantram aksharo nasti, nasti moolam aushadham, ayogyo purusho nasti, yojaka cha durlabha. There's no word out of which good verses cannot be created. There is no, the plant which cannot be converted into medicine. And there is nobody in this world who is useless. Every human being is useful in one or the other sense, has got beautiful capabilities. It is we who have not utilized it. Those kind of people are rare to find. And that's why the role of parents, teachers, student herself, himself, and the stakeholders, the policymakers, the government, the employers, the corporate, or the people, those who are going to hire them, everybody. I'm so happy Sahil is telling that I go to shop of my father since I was in class 2. Wonderful, Sahil. That's why you might have earned certain skills which would keep you in your best form. If you have done anything by your own hand, you will never sleep hungry. Come what challenge. You will never sleep. I was talking to some of the Ukrainian people, those who ran away because of the war there. And what happens, I was talking to them and they said, I am an agricultural farmer. Somebody said I'm a construction labor. One lady said I'm a good cook. Another said I can take care of an old patient. So everybody found themselves doing something, and they were employable because they have soiled their hands. They were ready to go down. They were hire people in some corporate, but they agreed that now the situation is such, if I have to cook for somebody and earn my bread, they were ready to do it. So failures and shortcomings and challenges would be there. It is your resilience, your strength to bounce back and say, hey, I can do it. That is what education is not preparing. Other day I wrote one line in Hindi that nowadays we are preparing namak ke dhele, जो पानी पड़ते ही गल जाता है. That means we are preparing, the balls of salt, a drop of water and it, disintegrates. That is the kind of personalities we are creating, which should not happen. We have higher purpose. Everybody of us is importantly required to take care of not only themselves, but all the lives around them. It is so much important. So, here I would pause for a minute and say that if there is any questions from the audience or if you have any question, because I am also looking at the time, we have already consumed around 1 hour. Inder, would you like to say something?
Yes, it's now time for audience. If they have any questions for you, then they can answer. Or if they want to share some experience, they can put it on chat so that we can communicate with them later to respect our time. Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, over to audience if they have any question for you.
So Rajeshwari, this is the example.
Nice to hear. Hi, ma'am. Rajeshwari, ma'am.
हाँ,
How are you?
Kadir ji बोलिए.
Ji, how are you, ma'am?
I'm
I
good.
listening you from 1 hour, and you just like in the last you mentioned, I consumed 1 hour. Even you talking like that 5 hours, we are not bored, ma'am. Really, you give expression and motivate our life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I living in Kuwait, and I was getting your session, and I already registered. And just I finished my work and joined this session. I'm little late, 20 minutes, but I love to join and hear you. Thank you so much.
Great, great. Thank you. Grateful to you.
So Rajeshwari, here is a real example. We have 45 people here, and people are listening, but nobody's commenting, nobody's sharing any experience. And that is the issue in the classroom also. I'm
No,
just giving a live example that so I go to different places, in my desire to make a difference, and I take the students also for lunch or dinner and pay, for my pocket just to get some feedback whether I can help. But there is no communication, there is no feedback, there is no. So this is what's missing. That's what I mentioned in the beginning, that there is no dialogue, there is no lesson from Gita or Upanishad, question and answer, that you add your experience or something. There's nothing, we just talk and people listen, but there is no, this is the real problem. You can experience that. We have 45 people.
You're right.
you're right, sir.
But sir, we
may
have
I
some
please join in?
conversational messages here also from audience.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they are communicating through the messages. And
Yeah.
yes, and now recently the feedback form has been link has been shared in the chat. Please fill that form. It is used for the certification purpose also.
May I please join in? I'm Preeti from Nashik here.
Yeah, Preeti.
Yeah. So, Naresh ji, I'm sorry, but I differ that, non-communication is not exactly like we are not into it, what ma'am had been communicating to us. We all being trained, being trainer, facilitator, and what I have observed specifically with Gen Z, sir, that they are more into grasping mode rather than into reacting mode, and or otherwise more into creative mode, or then into, like, uh, as you said कि टू वे कम्युनिकेशन की बजाय वो खुद अपना एक्सप्रेशन चाहते हैं कि मैं एक्सप्रेस हूँ, और जरूरी नहीं है कि सामने वाला वो सामने ऑफ स्क्रीन हो, सॉरी, आई मीन ऑन द फेस हो, वो ऑफ स्क्रीन या लाइक कहीं और से मुझे देख रहा हो तो भी चलेगा. I, I'm sorry. I hope I have been able to make the point that I'm trying to make.
No, no, Preeti, I agree that, everybody has got a different way to express. So we cannot force anyone. I never try to force anything. If
Okay.
you want to learn, you can learn. If you want to listen, you can listen. If you want to just open your, link and go somewhere else, it is your choice. See, choices cannot be guided, but to think that this is right for me can always be guided by the teachers, by the parents, by the society, by the stakeholders, that this is useful. Can we do something like that? So, but still, the final choice would be left to the individual. If given a choice to me, I would say, yes, I understand. So, you have to create that critical thinking in their mind
Correct.
to pick and
Correct.
choose the right thing. That is where our roles come very, very, very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, yep.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Such an insightful session.
Happy to have you there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now over to you, Barinder.
Okay, thank you so much, Rajeshri ma'am. I think this is one of the insightful session and a good beginning of our series of talk. So I think from the Chandigarh University and from India and from IMT and IEEE Bengal section, I'm really thankful to you for this insightful session. And next coming up sessions which are lined up in our this sessions, that is, let me share the screen. That is by Dr.
Wow.
Iqbal Divkar, and she is Senior Corporate Learning Designer, PC, Public Service Ministry of Citizens Services, Canada. And she's now coming up on 20 Feb, 8 Feb, and that is the timing is 10:30 a.m. at the EST time. So those who really want to join, then we can share the link with you, and please find the emails that find the link for register yourself. And please do not forget the give the feedback. I think their feedback is one of the our backbone so that we can change our scenario, our set talks, and bring the like-minded people on this platform. Thank you so much, Rishi ma'am, and thank you, Indra ma'am. I think this is a wonderful given. Yes, ma'am.
I have only one suggestion, sometimes if the session was recorded, you can put it on the YouTube, where people can even access those who could not have joined because of time constraint or anything else. Maybe if that
We
is
will share the link.
allowed, yeah, if that is allowed,
Others,
please do put it
yeah,
so that it would help.
And I
we
think
can
you can
also
also
put
put
it
it on
on
our
live.
website, Prakash Bharti website.
Yes,
But
yes,
it
yes.
was a very interesting, useful, talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's better, it's good to listen, because we can find solution to our own problems, what's going on, how people feel. So there is seem to be a total resonance.
Thank you, Naresh sir. I would like to invite you to close this session because your
Yeah,
presence is an
you are
inspiration
the
for
let
all
me
of
close
us.
it.
You
It's
know you are
your,
an interactive, so
yeah.
please, sir.
No, I really feel that it's wonderful that you organized this talk, and she did an excellent job, sharing, her thoughts with us, which not many people do. This is a very sensitive subject, and it's right now it's going on. We have, our WhatsApp group, and right now the whole discussion is that somebody is complaining that there is no experimental skill. But if you are not giving any skill at your home, how do you expect school will give you the skill? Charity start from home. So the point you made is that you have to start, you have to make the kids responsible. Then they would become responsible and they would learn. They would create anxiety and curiosity. So when I am watching any TV program with the kids, I go and see how the bananas are grown, how the mangoes tree, how they look like. I like to show them, the food they like to eat, how the clothes, how does it come. I take them to, because YouTube has almost everything today, right? How does the cotton grow? What are the different steps involved? They can appreciate, otherwise they don't appreciate, what clothes they have, right? But anyway, it's wonderful talk you gave. Thank you very much. And I hope that you created this talk on the V-Tool and you will be
yes,
writing
yes,
the L31 so that you
yes,
get
yes,
credit. And you may
yes.
like to put, her slides and the if you are recorded on our website. And
I
tell
will say
people
that.
on Nash Bharti, that this talk is recorded and it is available if somebody wants to,
Sure, sure,
watch it.
sir, sure,
Thank you so
sure.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Rajeshri ma'am, for being a
Thank you.
wonderful
Honored,
speaker.
deeply honored, deeply honored. Thank you, everyone, for being there. God bless you all. Have a
Bye-bye.
wonderful 2026. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Bye bye,
Thank you.
ma'am. Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. So this is an announcement. Please fill
Thank
the
you, ma'am. Bye
feedback.
bye.
Thank
Please
you.
fill the feedback form.
Yeah. If you can please share it in the group. I am not able to see the form here.
Okay.
It is
Messages.
on the chat box.
Yeah,
Chat
chat
box.
box. I'm trying to find going up there. Like there are so many messages.
Yeah.
Redirect.
I can see
There is
Gurmala
one
ma'am. Hello,
redirect
ma'am.
notice is coming up. I'm trying to go to these forms. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Open it. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gurmala ma'am.
Good to see you. Wonderful session.
Thank you,
I
dear.
have filled the feedback form and all the polls.
God bless
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Welcome.
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Good
Welcome.
night from
Nice
India and
session. I really enjoyed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for sharing.
thank you.
Inder, can I leave?
Yes, ma'am, you may leave. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
you.
you so
Okay.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.